What's up, fam? What's going on out there? It is the homie, Mainman Mademan in the building. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. Salute to all of the fam out there, and salute to everybody in Mainman Mademan's boxing form. Word on the curb, Josh Warrington, former 126 pounds IBF world champion, has now vacated his world title. And I don't blame him, fam. You know what I'm talking about? I'm glad he did it. He took a hard stance against a sanctioning body that was trying to force him into a mandatory fight with someone that he recently beat. Man, look, Josh Warrington got bigger fish to fry than Kid Galahad all over again. There's a lot of big fights up there for Josh Warrington. World title fights at that. So, of course, he don't want to be bogged down with a mandatory with someone that he has recently defeated. Now, word on the curb is that Josh Warrington's team has been speaking to two other fighters about a possible fight. And that is the WBA regular champion at 126 pounds, Zhu Can out of Asia, or WBC world champion, Gary Russell Jr. Now, if you ask me, I think you should go after Gary Russell Jr. You know what I'm saying? It's the more significant fight. I get it. The Zhu Can fight may be an easier fight politically to make, given that Zhu Can fights for Golden Boy, and Golden Boy puts their fighters on DAZN, and Matchroom puts their fighters on DAZN. Easier fight to make. Gary Russell Jr. is over there at PBC, but however, Josh Warrington, he's not a Matchroom USA fighter. And we know the Matchroom USA fighters are the ones that are obligated to DAZN. Now, he fights probably on Sky Sports in the UK, but who knows? Things might can be done, worked out between Warrington and Russell for some US, broadcasting rights or whatnot. But if not, even if it's for DAZN, I'm sure, a deal can be worked out between the two sides. It's a monumental fight. The fight between Josh Warrington and Gary Russell Jr. would determine the #1 fighter at 126 pounds all day. With Josh Warrington's resume and Gary Russell Jr.'s reign and resume, man, it will make for a very significant fight in the sport of boxing. My man Gary Russell Jr. got a mandatory coming up. The WBC has named his mandatory to be Ray Vargas. Ray Vargas, the former 122-pound WBC champion, is moving up. So technically, he's a reigning champion. He never lost. He's undefeated. And the only reason he don't got his title is because he got injured and was named a champion in recess. Now that he's coming back to the fight game, he's coming back at a higher weight class at 126. And he's jumping in that water possibly with Gary Russell Jr. So that'd be a good name for Gary. If Gary can get that win, then turn around and maybe get that Josh Warrington fight, it makes perfect sense for the 126-pound division. Now, I understand that Josh Warrington also been wanting to get this Zhu Can fight for quite some time. I mean, he's been talking about it for a minute, and they haven't been able to line it up due to COVID-19. But, I mean, so if he wants to go that route first, my thing is, let's say if they do come to terms and make a fight with Zhu Can, that doesn't mean that Gary Russell Jr. has to be off the table. I mean, if he gets through Zhu Can and takes Zhu Can's WBA championship, and also they're saying that the Ring Magazine title will be involved in that fight, well, he'll have two belts, and he can go ahead and try to go after that WBC afterwards, if it comes to that. But we know that Zhu Can, his position is he don't really want to fight Josh Warrington without a crowd, because he was told he'll get more money if there's a crowd involved. But at the end of the day, cracking ass fights for Josh Warrington. I do not blame him for vacating his IBF. He took the stands, and I know a lot of fighters wouldn't even done this. But us as boxing fans, we recognize the caliber that Josh Warrington is, and he's a damn good fighter. He got some real good names on his resume. So I respect Josh Warrington. I respect his skill set. Brings a lot of good tools to the fighting game. And a fight between him and Gary Russell Jr. will be one hell of a chess match. I'm just saying, man. So also, Josh Warrington has a fight coming up on February 13th against a guy named Laura. So we can get a good peek at him and see what he's looking like, due to the inactivity, because of the pandemic. So we can get a good look at him on February 13th, see how good he looks, and then afterwards, see which way he pivots for his next fight. And we hope it for Gary Russell Jr. And if he faces Gary Russell Jr. next, Zhu can be lined up afterwards. Zhu Can and his WBA world title can be lined up for the winner of Gary Russell Jr. versus Josh Warrington. It can happen either way you slice it. And I like it. And I like the fact that Josh Warrington took a stance against the IBF. Now, let's see how this works out. Thumbs up for the fam. Rock them bells for me, man. Much love to each and every one of y'all. I'll see y'all real soon on We Talking Boxing. It's going to be going down, man. Much love to the fam. Stay safe out there, y'all. Stay safe out there. Stay safe. I catch up with y'all real soon. Rock them bells. I catch up with y'all soon. To the next one. Peace out.